How you doing, guys? Today I'm going to be making a video on dismantling the AOS UL7. I do not use this drone anymore, so I recently designed, well, let's say I recently designed it. I designed this a while ago. If you've seen the Afterburner online, then you probably think this looks very similar, because it is. They came out with a 5-inch, and I basically wanted a bigger drone so that I could fly up the mountains for longer range, longer batteries. So I thought I would design a larger version of it. This one is slightly larger than my other version. If you see my previous video, I basically cut this on my CNC. It'll take up to 9-inch props as well. So this will be replacing this. The main reason for that is this frame, although it's good, it's lightweight, it is very fragile for what it is. The arms on it are extremely thin, and the motor plates as well are thin, which is what lets it down. If Chris Ross made this slightly thicker, yeah, it would add a little more weight, but the frame would be a lot more rigid. But you know, it's okay, but if you crash it, you'll see that this frame will be nothing left of it, which is a shame. You've got 2mm arms here, and then I believe these are 1.5mm, I think. Let me just check. Yeah, wow, 1.3 is showing on my, nope, sorry. We got 2mm on the main plates, and then we got 3mm on the arms. So it's a little flimsy. What I'll do now, I'll zoom in and I'll show you. So if I just focus on that, if you can see how much twist is in that arm, it's quite considerable, and on this one as well. And when you're twisting it with your fingers, you can actually feel the carbon flexing quite considerably, which isn't ideal. I mean, if you're using it as a cruiser, which is what it's designed for, I suppose wouldn't really matter. But for me, I would rather much a slightly beefier frame. This is 3mm carbon all around. So if I zoom in on that, bear with me, I can't get a focus. I think that's about right. As you can see, there is literally no twist in that at all, and then the rigid strength of the corners as well is pretty solid. That is not flexing in any way compared to this frame. But don't take anything from this. It's a brilliant frame. It has lightweight and is a great cruiser. But for me, I want this. So like I said, everything is going in here. And what I'll do, I'll take you along. I'll strip this down, desolder everything, and then I'll show you the process of building this frame. So hopefully you'll enjoy it. And yeah, so here we go. So a quick one before I dismantle the AOS UL7. I'll 2 seconds. I'll weigh it for you so you can compare the weight differences between the two frames. Once I complete this, I'll weigh this as well. Obviously this is going to be considerably heavier than this, but I'll show you anyway. So without the antennas on here, the GoPro as well, the frame weight of this is 688 grams. So that's the frame with the motors, no antennas. So with the antennas, the large antennas on it as well, this could take it up to 700 grams, which is quite light for a 7-inch, to be honest. It's not heavy, but so 688 grams, and then the weight of this frame alone is, we're already at 400 grams with nothing in it. I know I got an XT90 in it as well, and some wires, which is adding a bit of weight to it. So, 400 grams and 688. So what we'll do now, we'll dismantle this wine and we'll put everything in this, and I'll let you know the weights at the end. So I hope you enjoy. How you doing, guys? Here is the finished 9-inch FPV frame. It's been a few days before I actually finished it. I hope you enjoy the video of me transferring everything from the AOS UL7 into this. I ran into some hiccups as expected with the capacitors because I changed the way the top plate has been mounted. I ran into the issue of where I could mount a massive capacitor on it. So in the end, I did have it originally in here, which I fitted in the video, but then I tried fitting a smaller capacitor, but that one got hot. So in the end, then I decided to use a similar idea that I used on the UL7. I got two capacitors. I don't know if you can see it. I got one there, 50 volts, 1000 capacitor, and then another one here. And these are nice and cold. Originally I tried one of these, they were fine. And then I went for a smaller one at 35 volts. That wasn't cutting it, it was running hot. So that had to go. So once I fitted these, everything's pretty good to go. I haven't mounted the side plates yet. I have got them somewhere. Yeah, so one of the side plate is by here. They will be mounted on the side, each side like that. Got one by there, and then you got one on the other side. But I left these off now for flight tests and easy accessibility. So yeah, but pretty much that's it. I have 8.5 inch props on these. T-Motor recently just come out with the new Cineline props. They go from 8.5 inch all the way up to 10.5, I believe. So I thought I'd give these a try. I know it's a 9-inch frame, but the 8.5 props, they run just shy of the main frame, so you can run 9-inch props if you wanted to, but the way this flies on 8.5, I'm pretty happy with it. So there's no really need to put 9-inch props on it. I got a 3500 6S on the bottom, which gives me varies really about 10 minutes flight time if I'm cruising. This can be reduced based on the way you're flying it, of course, but for long range you could slap a bigger battery on it. And the motors I'm running on here are the Brother Hobby 3008, and they are 1500 kV. The kV is a little high for 8.5 inch props, but that's all I had at the time, so that's what I'm using. On my other version of this, I am running same motor size, but they are 1100 kV. That is a perfect motor for 8-inch, but you know, this does the job. I'm not having no issues with it. I was going to show a flight video of this, but I haven't had much chance due to the weather, so that's kind of on hold. I'll probably make another video on this frame. But yeah, it's pretty much done. I got an M10 GPS on the back as well. I'm using the SpeedyBee F7 stack with a 55 amp, which does enough. Is enough for this size frame and the weight. The only thing I could say about this M10 GPS, I'm not having much luck with it. I didn't have much luck with it on the AOS UL7, so I'll probably change that out. It's just not locking satellites. I got cheaper GPSs in these, and they're outperforming this GPS altogether. I got the baud rate set correctly, and it's taking 10 minutes to get a sat lock, which is no good for me. But other than that, it's pretty much done. What I'll do as well, I'll take the battery off the GoPro, and I'll weigh it up for you so you can see the comparison between the AOS UL7, which by the way is a 7-inch, and this is a 9-inch, so it's a little bit bigger compared to the other one, and I'll let you be the judge of that on the weight. So what I'll do now is I'll weigh it up and show you the difference. So we removed the GoPro and the battery on the bottom. We're going to weigh the frame now, compare the difference between the UL7. I know it's a bit of a stupid comparison considering this is a lot bigger, but to give you an idea, the differences in weight for the size, you can determine whether this is good or bad. So what I'll do is stick it on the weighing scales now for you. We have got 856 grams, and the AOS UL7 is 688 grams. So if we do 688 grams minus 856, that's giving us 168 grams difference. But that's without the plastic on the side, so if we add that as well on the weighing scale, we have got 888 grams, which I believe is just shy of 200 grams difference, which isn't a lot really considering the size of the frame. It's a pretty big frame, to be honest, considering you can run 9-inch props. I know the only downside to this kind of frame is you always got props in view on your FPV feed, so if you wanted to run, for example, the DJI-03 and only record on the DJI-03, then you will always have the issues of these running directly in front of your camera, which isn't great. But for me, I always use a GoPro, and I always mount it on the top, so this works for me perfectly. If you run the angles too slow, then obviously you will get the props at the bottom of the frame, and I always tend to run 8x7, so I get the most flexibility with the sensor, so that is the full size of the sensor, so I don't really run into many issues with the props running in view of the GoPro, because when you run it through GyroFlow, it sort of crops in enough that you can't see these props at all, so it's not a big problem for me. I'll give you a size comparison of the afterburner for you. So this is the afterburner, and this is the one I designed, which is a 9-inch. So afterburner, 9-inch, afterburner, 9-inch. You can see how much difference in size these two are. It's pretty considerable, but this thing's cool. But for me, I like the larger drones for the larger batteries and longer flight times, so this isn't really ideal for me. So yeah, I forgot to mention as well what system I'm running for my receiver. As you can see on the back, I got two Crossfire Immortal T's on the back. They are 90 degrees to each other. I've tested this out a long distance when traveling abroad, and it's always worked great for me. I know ideally you should have one vertical and one horizontal for the best range, but this works for me. The only thing that I haven't tried for range is I recently started using this and originally I had the Crossfire module on the back, but I internally fitted this recently, if you've seen my videos, and so the Crossfire antenna is basically in here. So I don't know how good this antenna is going to be, but I've tested it in the local area, and I haven't had no issues with it, so this is great, and I'm looking forward to traveling with this as it's nice and compact, and I haven't got a module hanging off the back, so this is great. So that is the RX system that I'm using on here. I'm also using Walks now. This is the version 1 VTX and version 1 camera. I've not had any issues with these cameras or the VTX. They have been great for me, so that will do for that. I've also mentioned the flight stack that I'm using. I got these little stubby, short antennas on it for now. These are cherry antennas. I'll probably get some bigger ones on it because I find they're always better. It's definitely for long range as well. And then underneath as well, I got my battery straps on the bottom. I've also got an XT90 which is mounted to the carbon. This is a nice addition to it because I hated the wire hanging off the bottom from the first one I'd done. It was absolutely driving me nuts, so this is great. But the only downside to that is when you want to do some sort of maintenance to it, it's going to be kind of tricky to remove the bottom plate without desoldering the wires. So in a future version I may notch the back out here and the back on the bottom, so this will make it a lot easier just to slot the wire out when it needs to come apart. But other than that, it's an awesome little frame. It flies really well. Like I said, I'll do a video on it in the future showing you how well it flies, but that'll be it for this video. And hopefully you take something away from this video, and if you like what you've watched, if you could give us a like, a comment, subscribe, if you liked it. If you don't, then that's totally up to you. But yeah, until next time, see you again. Cheers.